Okay, what if everything you think is real is only real because you have accepted it as truth? What if you could rewrite the rules? What if you could step beyond your circumstances, beyond the conditions of your life, and actually step into the field where anything is possible? And this isn't just about learning the concepts of manifestation, it's about truly embodying them, being able to use them and integrate them. Because what I see happening over and over and over and over again, and I have been there too, especially with people who have already studied the process of manifestation, people that studied with me, people that already have experienced shifts, is that they think they've done the work. And yes, they have changed, they have expanded. People have seen real transformations, coaches, mentors, people that study this, but then they kind of hit a wall or they keep walking against the same stone. And they reach a level where suddenly it feels like the same patterns are showing up. So they still experience frustration, doubt, or lack. And that's where most people get stuck. Because they don't realize there's still work to be done. And it's not because they're failing, absolutely not. It's because this isn't a one-time shift. It's a practice. It's a way of being, and it's a daily commitment. Every day, every minute, and every breath you take. So I promised that I would share an experience that I had yesterday so you can see how deep this work goes, and also sometimes that we believe that it's so of such a little meaning about when we have those unaware thoughts. So I had just finished an incredible event at a beautiful 4-star hotel, an event filled with powerful new connections, very deep conversations, and new opportunities. And I felt aligned, expanded, and very grateful for the whole experience. And I had already traveled to my next stay. It's kind of like an hour away from where I had been. And I was getting settled in my new space when suddenly I could not find my passport. And that moment, that split second, that first thought that tried to creep in was, oh my God, what if I don't find it? Where would it be? The time, the money, the hassle of getting a new one, you know what, right? Oh my God, this is typical something for me. And this is where most people get trapped. Because we've been trained, not just mentally, but biologically, to react to life through logic, survival, and limitation. That's the way that we have been trained to live that experience as a human being. Our analogical mind, the one we were conditioned to trust, always tells us to look at circumstances, to believe only what we can perceive with our 5 senses, to define reality based on external factors. Though manifestation, I would say, doesn't work that way, but it does work. But a lot of times we manifest the opposite of what we want because we manifest 24 hours, 7 days a week. So to define that better, I would say to manifest the things you like in your life, you got to step out of that analogic thinking. Manifestation, at least the things that you would love, requires you to go beyond the logical mind. And I want to go to a lake, so I'm looking for where to go now. Okay, just follow my intuition. So, right there in that moment, when that happened, and that was just like today a day, it's like really a question of seconds. I was able to catch that thought. So I reminded myself, right? And I do that constantly. This is just a thought, Susie. This is not reality. You get to choose. And I just shifted. And I asked myself, what if my passport is still in the other hotel? What if everything is working out in my favor? What if this is happening for me and not to me? And most people stop here because they can't see the result yet. Okay? And instead of seeing this as a thought, they see it as a fact. But the thing is, you don't need to see it first. You need to feel it first. You need to believe it first. And when you believe it, when you feel it, you show the universe that you believe it. You cannot access a solution while staying in the frequency of the problem. And the only way to think from possibility instead of limitation is to first change your frequency. So that's what I did. And from this new energy, I called the hotel. And guess what? They got my passport. And, well, the moment I knew they had it, my old conditioned mind tried it again. So now my thought was, oh, now I have to go back, and it's an hour there and then an hour back. So it's going to be like 2.5, 3 hours wasted. And I'm so tired already, and I would love to go walk into the city of Madrid by nighttime. And I could feel it. I could feel the pull of the old self. The part of me that still wanted to react, to complain, and to stay in the vibration of struggle. Why? Because that's what I have been doing my whole life. The thing is that I have been training my mind so much, and I'm so aware of that, that I use nowadays my emotions to notice when I'm not aligned. And I was able to call it again. And instead of feeding those thoughts, I choose again. Because I've got the will to choose. So what if there is another way? What if I can solve this in an easy, effortlessly way? I mean, it's still future, right? So I got to choose where I'm going to put on my thoughts. So I was still on the phone with the hotel, and in that moment I came again from a totally different energy. And I'm really speaking about nowadays. That was not always like this, but I'm speaking about literally several seconds that I did that shift. So instead of feeling like I was a victim of my circumstances, I opened up to solutions. And I decided to think in possibilities. And because my frequency had shifted, I was able to access a new reality. So the hotel gave me 3 options. They told me to go back myself, which I was already aware of, that would be one of the options. They could send it to me or have someone pick it up on my behalf in the middle of Madrid. So I choose to believe in a perfect solution that was meant for me at that time. Meaning that you trust and surrender whatever that solution will be. So I called someone that I knew that might still be at the hotel. But I can tell you, the event already finished hours. So I called that person and no answer. And just before, I was put into a WhatsApp group of people that went to the event. Thank you. Synchronization. And I went into that WhatsApp group and I found the person. Her name was in the phone numbers. And I called her and she answered. She was still there. So within 15 minutes, my passport was in a taxi on its way to me. Now, here's the part where most people struggle. Because when things don't go the way they expect, instead of shifting their frequency, they react. Been there, done it, I know what it is. It's so easy. And what happens then? If we react, you act upon something before it's happening, you get frustrated. You feel stuck, overwhelmed. And then they also start to doubt if this works. And sometimes they even feel angry or frustrated when they don't get it. Or even students that work with me, they can feel frustration or angry at the person teaching them. I've seen this happen, okay? And these clients, they shifted, they grown, and they've seen changes. And then something happens, a challenge, a trigger, and then they feel resistance, which is totally naturally. And instead of realizing, hey, this is my old conditioning fighting to stay alive, they think, why is this happening? Why isn't it working? But that's not the truth. Because it always works. We always manifest. I know so many people that constantly say, oh yes, I know this and I understand it, and yes, we manifest the whole day, and then just in the next breath that they take, they share why they're frustrated or why they are feeling overwhelmed or that somebody did something to them. So your old self, the one that has been trained for decades to think in a certain way, will fight for survival. Your mind is made, we got a system inside of us that is made to protect us. So your conditioned mind will always try to pull you back into what it knows, because what we know is familiar, and what is familiar to our subconscious mind means it's safe, even though you don't like it. It has nothing to do with that. And this is why having someone to hold you accountable, to help you see what you cannot see right now at this moment, is so important. Because in these moments, it's when most people give up. Because this is where they go back to logic. This is where they return to what's familiar, because even struggle feels safer than the unknown, right? By the way, I'm walking in a park which is called, I forgot the name. I will just ask in a second. There are some people walking. What is the name? Well, just give me a second. It's huge, by the way. It's in the middle of the center, and it's called, let me see. So stay with me. Got something more to share with you. Hola, buenas. ¿El nombre del parque?
¿Perdona?
¿El nombre del parque?
Parque del Retiro.
Del Retiro, gracias. Okay, so the name of the park is El Retiro, and it's pretty big. So, if you're still here with me, if you're still watching, it's because you're ready, because you want to know more. If you're a coach, if you're a teacher, if you are a student of manifestation, if you have read the books, if you have done the courses over and over again, and you already know the concepts, and maybe you're still not seeing the results you want, you would like to have more clients, you know what? It's not because manifestation does not work. It's because you have not yet trained your mind enough to step beyond your limitations, beyond what you think is real. And that's where I come in. And I'm not here to convince you of anything. I do not work anymore with people who need convincing. I stopped doing that. I mean, we take for granted that we need oxygen. We take for granted that we breathe. That's where I am. So my ideal client, I want to work with people who feel it in their soul that they're ready to step into mastery. So if you're ready to stop waiting, if you're ready to stop doubting and start living in the energy that creates miracles on demand, then I absolutely invite you to work with me. And this is your moment. Why wait for another moment to do so? So what are you choosing? I know I can help you. I did it with myself. I am absolutely making several quantum leaps. Things are happening in an amazing time. The way people show up, the opportunities that I'm getting offered out of the nowhere, which is obviously the place where we have to go, right? We go from somebody to nobody. We go from something to nothing, and we go from somewhere to nowhere, which is when you are able to let go your 5 human senses and to step into the nothing, the space where the creation happens. Always. Though the thing is, you got to train your mind to become so aware of your unaware thoughts that you just do not allow any thought anymore to get in that doesn't serve you. So You always manifest. You always think. You always create your emotions. You always create your vibration. So you always manifest. You always create. And the vibration is the language of the universe. It doesn't speak Chinese or English or Dutch or French. It speaks vibration. So every vibration that you send out through your thinking, that's what's being created. Hey. A doggy. So think about it. And again, if I always say that, if I can do it, I promise you, you can do it too. That's the promise. And this really works if you work it. And like you see, and that's why I wanted to share with you this amazing example with my passport. It looks so subtle, but it is these little things and accumulations, and also with the big things, that creates your human experience. And like I told you before, it's about 70,000 thoughts that we have in a day, and more than 90% of those thoughts are running the show without you knowing it. And again, it's not about being more intelligent or being smarter. It's all about training your mind over and over and over again. And you can accelerate that process. So let me know if you're interested. I'm going to start very soon some of my programs that I have. I have different services and options. You can work with me one-on-one, and you can work with me in groups. And I would love to join you and to be part of your dreams, as well as you being part of my dream. Have an amazing day.